Hey, I was just thinking today as I was working, and I don't really usually get all biblical on myself. I mean, I love the Bible and I enjoy it and I read it and do my thing with it, but today I was inspired to kind of just open it and check it out. And so it just so happens when I open to Revelations, I went to chapter 11, which goes before chapter 12. And chapter 12 just so happens to be, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Very cool. However, I think we've forgotten that chapter 11 talks about the two witnesses. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees, and the two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over the waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people said, and kindreds and tongues, nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they shall dwell upon the earth, and those people shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3 days and a half the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice come from heaven, saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and they gave glory to the God of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in the heavens, saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord, and of the Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before God on their seats fell upon their faces and worshipped God, saying, We give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and wast and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that they should give reward unto thy servants and thy prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightning and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. So anyway, I'm thinking, well, it's interesting that all those stars and planets align for the date of 9/23, but we really, unless we can fully explain our way out of what's going on with the two witnesses, we're not really there yet. And so it kind of doesn't send a huge confusion, because, I mean, whatever was going on with those planets was very convincing. But I don't know as if everything has to be taken into a literal mythological or a sky sense. You know what I mean? The Bible can be talking about real events. You know what I mean? It could, in fact, be, that those two witnesses were the two towers in New York City. And what they've witnessed is the rise of Babylon. You know what I mean? I don't know that that's the case. It seems to make more sense that there will be humans on this earth who are willing to put themselves in the place of what Jesus Christ was doing, and then therefore will... just no one's doing that. No one is in that position to... yet make that claim to be a witness. One would probably have to be God-inspired for that. And so, right after that, and it was 3.5 days before they were brought back to life. Let's see, where was it? And after 3.5 days, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet again, and great fear fell upon those which saw them. So it's just like Christ. So I don't know if that's meant to be taken metaphorically. I just don't think so. I think this is it's a chapter. There's a great procession when it all happens at the end, and these are something that we're going to have to go through, but that would be part of what's going to happen before chapter 12, which is, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Which could also be the Statue of Liberty, as a physical object. And we have to keep in mind that, when they say literally the Whore of Babylon, they're talking about a physical being, as well as, because God is so perfect, it's not just a physical being, the devil, it's the city of New York City, or Rome itself, we would say. It microcosms up from on high down below. We know nothing more than what the Bible has taught us or what history has taught us, so it's pretty hard to escape all of those things, and we all create in those genres. And most religions on earth have an end of the world, so it's pretty hard to escape the feeling of Revelation. Or the nice thing about Revelation and things like that isn't necessarily even implying the end of the world. The Greek version of that is, oh God, no, I've got a little Bible, man. You can. Yeah, well, of course it does. But it's like, I'm not saying that Revelation 12 hasn't happened. I'm just trying to get a grasp on, because I almost feel like when Jesus died, the humanity that existed pretended to evolve and become what we are, because we still haven't accepted that Christ was on earth, and so God is a merciful God, and so he pretended to let us continue to live on, which is the delusion of Satan. And here we are. I mean, I might have been Pontius Pilate, or, I'm just a being who's trying to understand God and move forward, and like on good days I can see it, right, or whatever. I'm always a sinner, so I just sometimes wonder if that's what it is. It's we the rest of the reality that we see. There's 6 billion people. That's so surreal. I mean, there's only a certain amount of people on earth who are getting this whole idea of Jesus Christ and God anyway. Yes. Yeah, I agree. Well, because only by grace can you really wake up, right? This all happened, and we're trying to wake up, and if you're lucky, you come across Jesus Christ, and so you have a life buoy to kind of hang on to when you can get away from the delusion. And the Word of God, which is in this little awesome book, is meant to open your mind. And I mean, because we're not. I love the statement. It's a wicked generation that looks for dates. I mean, honestly, the way I see it, and it's kind of scary. Like, we should want to be just dead, so we can be with Jesus. I mean, not like kill yourself, but like not really attached to this world and the problems of this world, and and I think that's what Jesus came to impart to us. This, your reward comes after. And so the problems I go through might just be your ticket out of here early. And so, and I was also reading, it was a little bit earlier, it was about how the certain elect were going to make it, but they were the virgins. Men who, or apostle style people who just really never bought into the system and never never got with a woman, never bought into reality, always devoted their time to God. And that's a hard thing to do, but I mean, what Jesus was saying and implying was you should always want to do that. You should always want to just devote all your time to God. Go into some type of holy building or whatever it is, your house, have quiet time, and not really chase women around. And so I think that's the other image that people aren't really getting, is that the reality you have to escape is right next to you. It's just that it's, for most people, I'm married. I have a wife and a child, and the irony is, my son's name is Osiris, and his middle name is Horus, and his last name is Murray, because I've read enough and I've done enough and seen enough that I am basically the devil while I'm here. I'm the worst thing. I'm the most awful, right? I'm the most awful thing there is. I'm just, every time I try to talk about God, I disrespect God. Every time I try to think about God, I'm worse than I should be. I'm trying to get better, but these things, I mean, that's all I think about is Jesus Christ and God, and the reality, and the being good, and I am a good person, but I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I'm no good compared to what Jesus did. I mean, I should be. I should never have gotten with a woman, and I should never have done anything. And that's something I have to live with. I was smart enough to be not that stupid. I could have been just like Jesus Christ, and I should have been. And maybe I was afraid of that lifestyle of being loud and obtrusive and truthful to people. And instead I got like into my little thing, and I did art, and I play guitar, and I have family, and I mean, Jesus is carrying the cross, and what does he say when Mary comes to him? I have no mother. I have no family. I have only my Father in heaven. He had given all of that away. He was not living on earth. I never wanted to go that deep, and I do embrace my family, but I'm just saying that ultimately, when I named my kid Osiris, I knew what I was doing. Oh man. West Coast is burning. New Hampshire, however, is very comfortable. It's 45 degrees, beautiful foliage. Can't complain. Bless Jesus. Bless all of you. Hopefully you all have good weather. It's not that bad. So, but although like 2 weeks ago it was 70 and it was a lot warmer. Anyway. So, I just think that it's interesting in the two witness sense that, and like I said, I don't know if it's taken literally, these beings are going to have to die for this and then come back to life. I mean, so much of what we try to perceive in life is knocked down by the fact that we're so easy to discredit religion and call it something that it isn't. I'll do a thing where I show you some of my art. Right now. That when my son Osiris was 2, I traced his body, and so I was reading a lot of Greek mythology and enjoying the history of the zodiac, and I mean, I wasn't getting so specific that it would have some type of cosmic meaning, but you have the multiple arms, so I was kind of, I'd been reading about Shiva and Krishna and the palace in Tibet, up at the top, Buddha's upside down. Yeah, I'll definitely check something out with you, and we'll do something. Over here, I have my, let's see. Well, hey, yeah, I mean, Osiris my son happens to have been born in Taurus. So I take it all seriously, but I actually don't understand it, honestly. I feel like I'm floating in an infinite sea of craziness, and that's all just fascinating to me, the whole idea of this is another painting or whatever, Shiva, my dog. This is in a building up in New York City. I found in a cathedral book. Something I inherited from my Grammy, the Mother Mary. Oh, I have a lot of... Oops, here's one. Well, I've been painting... I'm 48. I've been painting for a long time. Actually, it was supposed to be Jesus. But it took it, actually, ironically, from a... I'll show it again. It's a statue of George Washington. Yeah, some are quite scary for sure. Oh, you want to see a really scary one? Check this one out. That's my scary dog. This is because I've read so much about Nibiru. Do you see how he has all the arms? So he's kind of like the devil and Shiva, Krishna. But then you can get right into the... Nice. That's cool. For rock and roll shows. It's some rock and roll staging. But anyway, so this is the picture I've been doing this week. Oh no, not dark. This is dark. You ready? You ready there, Angel? Dun dun da da dun da da da. Anyway, the world is dark. I'm dark. Yes, the world is dark. I am hoping to fall into the graces of Jesus Christ. That's all I talk about with people. And that's all. That's really all you can do. No, I don't sell a damn thing. I don't. It's not really like that. I have a gift, and I try not to sell it because it's not about money. It's kind of I enjoy, like Angel White, you do such awesome videos, and I just kind of I like draw drawings. I like see things. I have thoughts. Nice. You know, and it keeps me out of trouble. I sit on my couch with my family. We hang out. Ryan. That's my new name, Ryan. Well, that was supposed to be like the wheels of Ezekiel. The eyes within the eyes within the eyes. I could only wish to do an awesome picture for Jesus and something that would, you know, really honor his spirit and you know, so it's just like I say, they're all the conspiracies I run across. This is a nice one right here. Check this one out. And then this one. That's supposed to be if you're laying down on your back looking up at the trees and then maybe a UFO over your head. Or is it? That's my name, and if you flip it upside down... You liar. Only in the winter am I suffering, but all summer I work my ass off. But you're right, now, yeah. In the winter I definitely get a lot done. I know. I draw every day, and I have for, I guess 30 years, I suppose. And it just, yeah, this is a funny one. You're right, that's the false Christ, exactly. And there's an Oompa Loompa. And there's Donald Trump. This is a wild one. If you flip it, it still says the same thing. It just says it backwards. He's the Batman, exactly. Here's one I did of JFK and the car. And that's why they call it Nightmare on Elm Street. Because he was killed on Elm Street. Remember that? Here's one of the Magical Mystery Tour in a movie theater. Picture of something I saw uptown in the sky. Oh, here's my better picture of the wheel of Ezekiel. Well, I don't know about, yeah, I don't know about that. He's pretty down. Very good artist, but when I hit it, I do it. This is Tiamat from the Zecharia Sitchin books. Well, I believe that all the historical texts say that an object like Nibiru has to exist. Has to. I just don't know if it ever really comes close enough that we can ever see it. I mean, the solar system is so entirely grand that thing could be our twin. And then I heard a really bizarre, well, I caught a video the other day, and I had heard this a long time ago. I never really retained it, I guess, that maybe Sirius is our twin sun. And so, I love the Devil's Tower right there. And so maybe Sirius and Nibiru are one and the same thing, or Nemesis in that whole system, and we're coming close to I mean, I do believe that we must have a twin sun. Yeah, I definitely think we should do a collaboration. I do have some time. Like I said, I am working full time, but the winter is definitely nice and slow. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out more of your videos. So I went through a little car phase. That was kind of cool. You know, like all these different cars. Trump, yeah. I mean, he's our Isildur's bane, they would say. He's terrible. He's a deceiver for sure. And the wild thing is, you know, it's like all those things are kind of acting their way out from the movies and all that. Oh man, you know, I should, yeah. I mean, this is all just this year. I have so many pictures like this from just... I was starting a ninja comic book. Exactly. Yeah, what I gotta do is I'll take photos of them and kind of make like almost like a slideshow version of them that I could email you or something. And then you could totally... Well, like I say, enjoy. I mean, it's just me watching the... You know, I've watched so many different channels on the internet, and I read, and I have hundreds of books. I'm not an idiot. And so I love Lord of the Rings, and I mean, I basically love Jesus Christ, and I believe and follow in him, but I mean, ultimately, I'm just a human who watches TV, or I don't really watch a lot of TV, but I draw, I play guitar, I think, I praise people, I value life, I try to turn people on to Jesus Christ because it would be the smartest thing those people had ever done in their whole lives. Just because his ways were so intelligent. We're hunting wabbits. You like that one? Well, because I was doing, in my earlier videos, a lot of the earlier ones, you would see that they're all called Nibiru hunting. I never really found any grand proof, but I always found some nice anomalies. And so I would call it hunting, you know, I'm looking. I don't go all over the webcams, all over the whole world, and give it a darn shot, you know, see what happens. Always a big fan of Conan in the day. Looks like he's wearing dentures, so that's kind of crazy. And so we know that they use all that symbology with the Twin Towers and whatever, and like I said, I don't know if that Twin Tower business is the two witnesses, because otherwise, what I think needs to happen is before we can worry about, unless it doesn't matter chronologically, we can't worry about the woman clothed in the sun until the two witnesses have died and are risen again after 3 days. So that's just where all this began, you know what I mean? I was kind of like, I don't get it, you know, like, I'm a huge believer, I get it, like, I believe it, so, like, where is this resolution to that situation? Like, it's not happened. or not that I recognize. I don't know if anyone's recognized it happening, but it's not all that obvious to me. And this was supposed to be for somebody, but this had to do with all the things to do with their birthday. They were Aries, but you know what? Since the universe is so all wrapped up around itself, I mean, it's probably very relevant to what's going now, you know, in the world around us. So I don't know. I kind of paint what I'm inspired to paint. The womb too, you know, exactly. And it's, well, everything is masculine and feminine, you know. I mean, life could not exist without male or female. Oh man, well, I'll do what I can. Because like I say, I have books and books of stuff. I don't know where my other, I mean, it's like I could grab more and more stuff. But I'll do it. I'll put together it so you can see more of my art. I mean, there is, well, they're mixed in with my videos, so it's kind of funny that way. But I'll do one whole thing. I think you're probably right. I did hear, and I have yet to ascertain there are no female angels for sure. And so I don't know how that really works, but I do believe, like I couldn't, it would take too long for me to poke right through, and I think it's close by, but it definitely says the first of the 200,000 saints who go up were all basically celibate. No, I can't wait. No, I can't wait. Yeah, we'll definitely rock some art. Do some art. And so I feel like, you know, that's an important thing. Not that like you have to change your lifestyle once you've created one, but it's sad for the, you know, all of us in a way. But the irony is there would be no existence on Earth if all of us were celibate. That's good. I mean, I'm not trying to pontificate, you know, I'm just giving my understanding. And it really struck me that we hadn't gone through the two witnesses. I know Jonathan Kleck feels like he's one of the witnesses. But honestly, I mean, it says here in the book, oh yeah, maybe, you know, that, I mean, this person will have a physical power over reality. They can cause problems. They can cause plagues. They can cause water problems at their will. So these are special people. And if those people really exist, then we've yet to really see them manifest completely. Never mind be killed and then risen. So that was kind of my whole trek tonight. You know, the art and all of that is... Oh, cool. Well, it's people. A lot of people have given their lives to make the Holy Bible exist, and I don't look at it as a prophecy tool. I mean, every time I read it, I haven't never memorized it, so it's always just like this is a revelation of just thinking. I mean, these, and because a lot of people and so many millions of people do think about the Bible, we're really hardly ever making a civilization where we've escaped the destruction of the Second Temple or things like that. I mean, we're still reeling from those things, and we still talk about them, and they're still in our general history, and you know, and so it's so fascinating that way. It's like, I mean, I don't remember it, but of the twins, let's see. You have to describe it a little better. It's not this one, right? Or was it in color or black and white? Say before this. Well, hey, you know, Angel White. All you got to do is when this is over, I mean, you can just kind of scan through the video, right? I know it's got. I mean, if you can just name what it was it black and white? Because it'll all be there. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, that's just this. Wasn't there one more? Oh, she might have taken it. Like I said, I have so many pictures. But I don't know about twins. Alright, well, I'm going to head out. I got to figure something out for my kid. Thanks for hanging out, guys. That was awesome. Like I said, I mean, if you check out the video, you can probably just kind of zip right through. And oh, man, thanks, Mike. Sorry. Later, Angel White. Thanks for hanging out, man. Anyway, wait, before you go. Like I said, let's try to figure out, because I do believe of the Revelation 12, but I don't understand what's going on with Revelation 11. The two witnesses. So, let's work that out. I mean, I totally don't get it. Anyway, peace. God bless everybody. Jesus is coming. Probably later than sooner.